Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I am playing with some fun Brutus Monroe Chroma Mist and the Bountiful Blooms stamp set. Now there is all kinds of fun things here. We have a lady watering with a watering can, a wheelbarrow full of flowers, little gardening accoutrements, and of course plants. And that means I am going to be using some photos from the Flower and Garden Festival in Epcot. And I also pulled out this mixed media stencil as well. It's vintage tile, so let's see what I can do. Alright guys, so I am starting out with my stamp set, and I'm going to go ahead and use my stamp positioner tool and my Brutus Monroe Raven Detail ink to go ahead and stamp up these areas. Now the fun thing about this is I can just flip over my white piece of cardstock and stamp again so that I have duplicates of everything. So I'm going to make sure that I have a nice dark line, and then I am going to fussy cut with my scissors. So I am choosing to basically leave my stamped images as black and white. Now that is something that might make some of you cringe, and I get that. But I think you will see why I chose to leave them as black and white here in a few minutes. Now, I'm not doing anything special while I'm fussy cutting these guys. I'm basically holding my scissor hand still and opening my scissors and closing my scissors with my scissor hand and moving everything with my other hand, which is my left hand. Now this is sped up a whole bunch, so you do see a little bit more movement than what I would normally go ahead and do. So I'm going to go ahead and get those cut out. I have my photos. Now these are topiaries. These topiaries are at the Flower and Garden Festival in Epcot. If you've never had the chance to experience the Flower and Garden Festival at Epcot, let me just tell you, you are definitely missing out. I decided to mat my photos on black cardstock because I thought that that would help my black and white stamped images to pop a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and use those two little flower bits as something up at the top. Now you do see a little peek of a background that I had started for this layout that I ended up not liking. So I'm going to go ahead and change this up. Now, instead of using gesso on this background sheet of white paper, I'm actually using matte gel medium. That's because I have a bunch of matte gel medium and not a whole heck of a lot of gesso. I'm using a silicone brush to just go ahead and get that matte gel medium all the way across the background of the page, and I'm going to help it along and dry it with my heat gun. Now, you guys, you don't have to use a heat gun for drying. You can just put it off to the side and let it dry naturally. But I'm impatient, so I do use my heat gun. Now, I just make sure that it's dry enough to the touch, and that's all I'm going to do. Now I'm going to take Chroma Mists, and I am going to spray them. Some of them, though, the sprayer is a little clogged and full and it doesn't spray very well. And I'm not taking the time to clear it out, you guys, so I'm just going to go ahead and add more. So as you can see, I did it in a rainbow, and now I am spraying and adding more color. And then, of course, because my sprayer isn't working too great with the red and the purple, I'm just going to dump a little bit of the color right on there. Again, I'm going to continue with the water to make sure that the rainbow of colors washes down. I'm also using my kind of mop rag, and what that does is just sops up a lot of the water. So you can see some of the darker areas on this paper. What that is where I got liquid on the back of the page, and it's kind of, you can kind of see through it. You can kind of see through the matte gel medium. I'm going to go ahead and add a bunch of like spackles and wow, my mind just blanked. I'm dripping the stuff down there. I trimmed it down a little bit, and I'm going to mat it on a piece of 12 by 12 black cardstock. And what that's going to do is just give my rainbow kind of a containment. Like, it's not just going to be out there in the world. There is a contained area. I use some fun foam to pop up my 2 photos, and this is where I am going to start adding in my black and white stamped images. So I'm just going to kind of place them around the layout where I think that they look good and they're giving a little bit of pop. So normally I would put a pop of color on a layout. However, the black and white here is actually kind of a little bit of a neutral. So it's basically, instead of popping, it's the opposite. I don't know what's the opposite of pop? Indent? I don't want to say it indents. That makes no sense, but you know, that's how it works. I'm going to go into my stash and pull out some black and white letters. And I do that for some larger letters and also some tile letter stickers here. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, yes, I love this. Rainbows and black and white are like, speak my language. I'm loving everything about it. And then I look at the wheelbarrow and I'm like, this feels very funky. So I decide to paint the wheelbarrow with the Chroma Mist, and I decide to go with orange because the majority of the wheelbarrow is on the orange part here. Then I also pull my little gem raindrops, dewdrops. I can't remember what exactly these bad boys are called. Man, I wish I could remember what they are called. Okay, give me a second and I can think about it. I think actually Brutus Monroe just calls them acrylic bubbles. They too come in a package set, and they are a bunch of great colors. So I dollop down a little bit of liquid adhesive, and then I'm going to take the coordinating colors over top of the rainbow and place them down over top of the colors. So the red goes on the red, the orange goes on the orange, etc., etc., etc. And then this way the stamped images really super pop because they say black and white while everything else on the layout is a beautiful rainbow. So there it is, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll put some links down below of some of the products I used, and I will see you guys again real soon for another video.